Aries Nation, welcome to your 7-day forecast with angelic ascensions. This may be a reading that may resonate with you. If you happen to have Aries in your sun, moon, or rising, dominant in your natal chart, or if you happen to be cross-watching for an Aries, you might find some information in this reading that may resonate. A few things to bear in mind as you listen to this reading. Aries, I want to call you Taurus. A few things to bear in mind as you listen to this reading. Aries, not everything mentioned in this reading may resonate. Take in what genuinely does. Disregard the rest. Please avoid making any rash decisions based on a general reading. If you would like a read based on your own personal energy, you can, of course, book a reading on my website, which happens to be angelicaascensionstarot.com. Now, we're always going to go over topics that are delicate. Consider this a trigger warning. And let's get into it. Let's see what's going on for the Aries Nation for the next 7 days. Some of you, you're being joined in a reading by a Pisces. And there's also an earth sign, and I keep saying Taurus, or I keep feeling Taurus. So maybe that's a Taurus. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You also have an air sign that just joined your reading. It seems like there's a couple of things that I can see right off the bat that are on your mind around this time. I don't want to call you Virgo. You got a Virgo cross watcher so far. You got a Taurus cross watcher. Aries. Somebody might have a flower name. Lotus flower. Somebody could possibly be named after a flower. Maybe somebody's name could be Lotus, or name of a company. I don't know why I keep hearing Amber, but that has nothing to do with flowers. So somebody's name could be Rose, possibly. I don't know. It just slips my mind. Something's going on with the mail. Maybe you might need to get to the post office. There could be something going on with postage. Maybe you need to get some stamps. I'm not sure. But I definitely feel like something might bring you to the post office. It seems like some of you are definitely concerned about home. You're concerned about stability around this period of time. Trying to stabilize something. You're concerned about safety, the safety of yourself, the safety of someone else, potentially. As usual, your mind is on your money. Seems like that's always the case. You're very preoccupied with your finances, and maybe around this time you feel stuck. Possibly somebody could be in jail. Somebody could possibly be thinking about jail time. Some of you, it feels like you could be signing on the dotted line. This could have something to do with a lease. It could have something to do with a job. You got a contract coming in. I think you could possibly be making a couple copies of keys. Some of you could possibly be concerned about school. Maybe your kids or you're graduating from a university. Maybe some of you could possibly be concerned about your alma mater. I don't know why. Could be joining a sorority. It seems like your area is kind of cluttered, messy. It just seems like you notice this and it's affecting you. But it seems like there's just a lot on your mind. Like it's hard for you to concentrate, Aries, because you're just so lost in thought. You had a Capricorn that entered your reading. And I'm trying to figure out why. Yeah, as soon as I ask why, yes, you're definitely contemplating something right about now. Okay, so we see it right off the bat. As soon as we begin the reading, you've got a situation here where I think you're getting the keys to a new place. It seems like that's something that you've been concerned about for a minute. Aries Nation. So some of you, you're waiting to hear back from a place. You've been house hunting, or possibly you've been looking for a buyer for your home. Some of you might be in real estate. You have some money coming through. You definitely have a yes answer. That's what this looks like. You're more concerned about stability. That's the contract. This could be, like I mentioned to you, secure through work. Or it could be, like I mentioned to you, house hunting. Maybe your lease is up. You might be between homes. Some of you might be between jobs. And there's something that you're trying to anchor down. Maybe there's somebody coming back to live with you. Interesting. I keep seeing this. You see this? KC. I just keep seeing that throughout the reading. Somebody's name could be Casey. Someone's initials could be KC. And we're noticing a lot of numbers. Maybe you're teaching your kids ABCs. I don't know. EV. Maybe somebody's name could be Eve or Evie. Casey. It seems like it means something. Casey. Kansas City. Some of you could possibly be moving to Kansas City. Could possibly. Are you moving? Yes. What am I talking about? We already established that. Some of you could possibly be moving to the Midwest, Southern state. Some of you could be moving maybe states away. I don't know. You might be having an issue with your neighbors, the people that you're around right now. Let's see what's going on. I feel like there's an issue with your car too. And maybe that's what you're preoccupied by. It's your car. Looks like you're really concerned about bettering yourself. Okay. Let's talk about your relationships. If this Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, that's who's pretty much dominating your reading, is a water sign. Whether they're water, sun, moon, or rising. Maybe even their Venus. I think you kind of pulled back from someone. There's somebody that you don't really interact with at all. Are you not talking to somebody? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you're like, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not dealing with you anymore. You see all these flowers in the background again. Somebody definitely has a flower name. Trying to figure out why. Why are you walking off from someone? Moving out, you're going your separate ways. You feel trampled by somebody. You can feel that somebody's trampling on your boundaries. Aries, forgive me, I know I'm going to call you Taurus. Because I just keep feeling Taurus so heavily. Who I think is this King of Pentacles, as I mentioned to you. What's going on? You feel like somebody's trampling on your boundaries, or somebody feels this way about you. There's a Leo that just joined your reading. There's a King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. You and someone, your specific person, could possibly be water signs. Maybe you're a water sign moon. What's going on? A legal situation. I did say some of you could be concerned about jail time. Maybe you have a court date coming up. Something could come up that maybe has you appearing before the judge. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not appearing before the judge. Maybe somebody in your life could be. Maybe this has less to do with you and more to do with someone else. Something is legally binding that you're signing. Some of you, maybe there's something to do with an eviction. You're going to see the judge for something. Oh yeah, somebody is in jail. Spirit guides say yes. That's really happening. So is that what you're thinking about? That's what's on your mind? A court date? We'll see more about what's going on with that in a minute as the context builds. Looks like you got some money coming in. Aries. It looks like you could possibly be going to a financial institution. You could be getting a loan. Something might take you to the bank. You're cashing a check because it looks like you got some money coming in. You have some money coming in over the next 7 days, this looks like. This could be money being given back to you, money that you've loaned to someone, and somebody could be paying you back. Let's see what's going on with your relationships. It looks like you're walking off from somebody. You feel trampled, possibly by a smoker. Is somebody a smoker in your situation? You feel trampled by someone. Some of you, you're not. This isn't your story. It's a third party situation. Whatever is going on in this partnership, I think you're done. Could be a work partnership. You could possibly have someone that you work with. Yes. But for some of you, this is a romantic relationship. It seems like somebody is exhausted of what's going on, and somebody's kind of growing cold of the situation. I see some of you kind of controlling, especially a fire sign in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Somebody's very careless with their words. This is how you're feeling trampled. In other words, it feels like you feel mistreated. You might feel that you've let a lot slide. Aries, your cross watcher. It definitely feels like you got conflict with someone. And it seems like the root of your conflict has everything to do with the past. Like it's kind of just difficult for you to get over whatever took place. Like you keep fighting about the same thing over and over. Some of you, this isn't actively going on. This is something that has already happened. I say Taurus. Taurus. Some of you, this has already happened. So maybe you've already backed off from someone. You're tired of the emotional roller coaster that you're dealing with. So it looks like there's somebody that you're dropping. Some of you, maybe there's a friend that you're dropping. It seems like there's a family member that you could have possibly distanced yourself from. Maybe there were some things that were said that had a lot to do with gossip and exposing somebody's personal business. But this looks like this is malicious gossip. Somebody puts somebody down. Somebody's really extra with the put downs, and it seems like you feel that maybe somebody can't be trusted. I see situations here where there's accusations. Random side note, somebody might have the pot on the stove turned up kind of high. So you might want to, maybe you're cooking. But it seems like the temperature might be too hot for the pan that's on the stove, or maybe the flames might be a bit too high. Just food for thought. Maybe you want to turn it down a little bit. Yeah. I see that somebody is kind of sad about stuff. Somebody's been crying about something. Something's been very emotional. Yep, the tears have been flowing. This looks like, yep, if we're talking about a relationship, somebody definitely feels confined. Some of you might be feeling confined in your own space. No. This is where you're feeling confined. The four walls of your mind is where you're feeling confined. You feel stuck. It seems like maybe you feel like you just don't know what to say. Like there's just no trust at all. Some of you think the issue is that maybe it's that you're having a hard time kind of sticking to your purpose. Maybe some of you might be placing way too much value on somebody's words, because it definitely feels like you feel that somebody is not trustworthy. You're waiting for somebody to give you a way out. Some of you, I think you've already wanted to leave. This is what's been on your mind. This might be on somebody's mind. Leaving a situation might be on somebody's mind, but maybe they're not saying it. Maybe they have. I think maybe in the heat of conflict, somebody has said something to you. You want somebody else to walk out. I don't think you want to be the villain in the situation, Aries. I think you want somebody else to do it. That's what this looks like. That's what someone's thinking about, just walking off. Or somebody did, and as I mentioned to you, somebody left, someone's coming back. Somebody's like, yep, I effed everything up. Is this why you're leaving? Yeah, somebody, for some of you, this is somebody that feels like they can't quite find a way to fix this. Like they've made way too much of a mess of a situation and there's no way of going back and cleaning this up. Somebody's pretty sure that that's the case. And maybe you won't let them off the hook regarding something that they did or something that they said. Aries. So I do feel that maybe somebody needs some space to figure out what they want. Somebody messed things up. How? What's going on with the Aries? Taurus, of course. This is almost like every time I do Virgo, Leo comes out. Every time I do your sign, Taurus comes out. What's going on? Come on. No, you're going your separate ways. You already know what's going on with somebody. You already see what somebody's doing. Somebody is trying to beat you to this. Okay, so maybe you are trying to leave. You messed everything up. Or they did. I don't know. Somebody feels like they messed up. Aries. I don't know. I guess I'll figure this out the more context that I get. Why is somebody leaving? Well, we did mention that you feel trampled on. You feel stuck. I think this might be a job more than a relationship, but it could definitely be that. I think somebody would have left if they had their finances right. I'm trying to figure out, does somebody feel like they messed up a different situation? Because it looks like somebody is coming back, Aries. And they could be coming back in your mind. They could definitely be coming back online. Maybe you might see somebody on your feed. Aries. On your timeline. And your email. For some of you, maybe even in person, you could possibly be coming back face to face with someone. I just don't quite understand. You're on an emotional roller coaster with someone. I think it's self-explanatory. I think I'm looking and trying to pry and trying to figure out what this is, and I think it's pretty obvious. I think you might feel like somebody made a fool of you. Denial of your emotional truth. Maybe something did bring out the shadow in you. Maybe part of you does want to run and hide. I definitely feel like this week somebody is denying the truth. I think somebody may have been denying the truth for a while. Aries or cross watcher, that they've been denying the truth to themselves. Definitely been denying the truth to you. Maybe even to other people. Somebody's been living a lie for a minute. And I think somebody's tired of it. They're done. I don't know, maybe part of you feels like maybe you just kind of want to start over. Maybe this week you're feeling cynical and maybe you feel like love is just not your thing. I think someone's trying to find a solution to this. Aries or cross watcher. I see a lot of aggression. Come on with it. Definitely somebody feels trampled. It seems like somebody is saying something to you, Aries, or you're saying something to someone, and maybe it's, like I said, you're not involved. You just might be the observer of a situation. In however way this happens to resonate, somebody is saying something. Somebody feels like it's going in one ear, out the other, as if the other person couldn't care less. So I think somebody does feel like they need some space to think. You might have been going back and forth with somebody through text. You might have some brutal text with someone. So somebody could possibly be drunk dialing you. You're going back and forth with someone. I think maybe right about now you're blocking somebody, or maybe you want to get in contact with a Libra in particular, but maybe you can't because you're blocked. I think there's some curiosity that somebody has for you, and I think somebody is going to look for you. You got some sort of situation. We're going to come back to that. Because it looks like somebody's really looking into you. Aries or cross watcher. So I mentioned a Taurus. You said that you messed everything up. Somebody feels like they messed things up with you. With a water sign especially. Any water signs out there listening? Somebody feels like the Aries feels like they fumbled the ball with you. Especially a Scorpio. Maybe somebody does play football. I don't know. I think you're going to see somebody again. I mentioned to you in your feed, in person, or however way, there's a Virgo. Virgo's just popped up too. The earth signs are dominating your reading, as well as the water signs. Once again, Capricorn. You have the devil now twice. Okay. So I think this week someone is making a decision. Somebody now sees the truth, and it looks like it's left someone feeling disappointed. Okay, so there's obviously distance between you and someone. This whole court situation for some of you could possibly be a divorce. But you had the jail situation. Some of you, maybe you grew up with somebody who was in the system. Maybe this is one of your parents. Who is this? Or what's going on? Because this seems pretty toxic. Somebody is involved in something that is toxic, that you might see as toxic. Yeah. All I keep getting is somebody wants to repair the situation. And somebody is maybe guided by their conscience, by their ancestors, by their spirit guides to fix something. And it seems like there are plenty of things that are hidden in your situation. Aries or cross watcher. Some of these things, like I said, are unraveling. They're coming to the surface, and you're finding out about these things. And this might be the straw that broke the camel's back, and somebody's walking off, no longer dealing with this. Yeah, maybe you feel like you and this person just don't have the same interests any longer. So, I don't know. It just seems like you're going your separate ways. It seems like you're walking on eggshells in your situation. I think you want to be happy with this person again. I just feel that, I don't know, maybe somebody isn't receptive to that and they're kind of pulling away. So yeah, this week it feels like you've reached a standstill. Right beneath that conflict. I think somebody's trying to figure things out. So I think maybe you're giving somebody some space, but at the same time, I mentioned to you, if somebody walked away, they're coming back. But I definitely see a third party, so I'm trying to feel this out. Is somebody coming back to you? Are you going back to someone? I do see that somebody has interest in someone. This is a fire sign that has somebody has interest in an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So you have an interest in somebody else? Somebody is very impulsive. Somebody doesn't make the... Somebody says, yeah, I messed everything up. I was going to say, maybe you feel like this person doesn't have the best decision making. This King of Cups in reverse. I definitely sense abuse in this situation. I'm talking about physical abuse. Maybe that's what this whole legal situation is about. Aries. Yeah, there is some gossip going on in the background of your situation. Random side note, Aries, maybe you did have a near-death experience. Or an out-of-body experience. It seems like some of you could be experiencing some form of discrimination. Yeah. Maybe there is a friend that you used to talk to a shoulder that a friend or a confidant that would be that shoulder to cry on in a particular situation. The point that I'm trying to make is it definitely feels like you're coming out of this situation. For some of you, you're not dating or you're not in a relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that this has to be a romantic relationship. We could easily be talking about family. You could be having conflict with family. And maybe you're kind of keeping your distance from family for right now because maybe there's something personal that you're going through. And if that is the case, you haven't heard from someone in a minute, they've kind of shut down. It seems like there's some things in their life that they're trying to fix. And especially, like I mentioned to you, their home situation, their financial situation. There's a Sagittarius that shows up in your reading. Yeah. Somebody's definitely trying to fix their situation. You could be dealing with somebody who could be going through relationship trouble. Some of you, I mentioned to you, you're in third party situations. So this situation may sound completely foreign to you, but this may be going on with the couple side of the third party situation. Third party or more, okay? Because it looks like for some of you, this person gets around. They're not just with you and they have like a wife and a main chick or something like that, a side chick. It seems like they've got multiples, women or men, however this really resonates for you. Yes, I promise you, this is somebody that is a cheater. At the same time, I think you knew that going into the relationship. It's not a criticism, but I kind of see something. Let's talk to you, singles. Let's see who's coming into you, to your situation, okay? Because I kind of feel like that's what I'm seeing more than anything. You got this King of Swords, who is here twice. Could possibly be an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. What do they want? They want to talk to you, Aries. Maybe somebody is bearded, or they have some thick facial hair. You recognize them by their facial hair. Yeah. So are you meeting someone? No, it doesn't. It feels like you're involved in a situation where you've already met somebody, and maybe right now you're not really giving somebody the time of day, because it seems like how everybody's seeing you is that you're distant. You're kind of in your own cocoon, your own shell. You are trying to figure some things out in your life. So singles, I think that you've distanced yourself from someone because now you're seeing that somebody is not really genuinely ready to commit. And you might feel like somebody led you on this wild goose chase. Somebody has a roaming eye, by the way. Like they get bored easily. You might feel that somebody has an immature way about them. Whether they play too many games. You're dealing with somebody that you feel has a lot of anger issues. And I think that you know that this person lies to you on a regular basis. But it seems like this is the week that ish hits the fan. Now, Aries and Crosswatcher, it seems like somebody could possibly be visiting, situations where they're paying for certain arrangements, if you get what I'm trying to say, when they're away from you. Somebody might be traveling for a living, like they're visiting prostitutes, some sort of professional arrangement type of thing. Now they're going to cover this up. For some of you, the issue is that they've got something, they're calling somebody a friend, but you already know that that's not just their friend. It seems like there's a situation going on where someone has crossed the line. That's what I mean. So this is something that you're finding out about. Somebody feels like they messed everything up. They don't know how to go back and repair a situation that is so broken in order to make amends with you. So this is, for some of you, the reason that somebody is leaving. They're walking out because there is just no fix to this. Some of you are walking out because you're just tired of it. You're over it. Tired of somebody hurting you again and again. This whole court situation, somebody could be involved in some sort of theft. There could be the sale of illegal drugs. Could be some fraudulent situations going on here. And maybe that's why the court is involved. Do I see kids? Yeah, some of you, the court situation could have something to do with children. Could have something to do with custody, child support, because it definitely feels like there's something money related that's going on in your reading. So, singles, set all that to say this. Some of you around this period of time, you're like, I'm good on dating. I'm going to separate myself from the dating world right now, taking myself off the market, that type of thing. It seems like you're realizing that somebody is not really going to change. Right? You see someone as deceptive, somebody that continues to hurt you again and again. You might feel that you're turning kind of bitter, or this is how somebody is seeing you. Yep, situation, there's two people walking out. No doubt about it. Two people going their separate ways. But I mentioned to you, this could also be in a business partnership. You might, like I said, co-own a situation with someone, like a business that you've established. Two people are going their separate ways. I think someone has decided to do their own thing. Well, maybe three people are going their separate ways. You got the moon here as well. It seems that there's a lot of family division. Maybe you're moving to a different city. Maybe you and your family, maybe you did live under the same roof with family before. And maybe you're moving to different places, because I mentioned that to you before at the top of the reading. I mentioned certain locations. So I think somebody could possibly be thinking about moving a distance away. Seems like the closeness is gone. Some of you are oracles. You are tarot readers. Or this is what brings you to tarot, to kind of figure out your situation. You could possibly do tarot. The Oracle of Delphi. That's weird. And you got the Delphic V here. Yeah. The Delphi, the word Delphi could possibly... Why does that sound like a sorority? Didn't I say something like that? I say something about a university. But yeah. I think that might have something to do with your purpose, really. But I mentioned to you, that's what brings you to tarot. Because it seems like that's what someone is trying to figure out what to do with their relationship. Yeah. Let's talk about your situation. So we're not talking about relationships, and we're just talking about circumstances that are going on in your life. It seems like that's what you're concerned about. You got a situation, or hypothetically like a bridge that you haven't crossed yet. You haven't gotten past a certain circumstance. And it seems that you're worried about how things are going to play out. I mentioned to you, your home. You're concerned about your stability. You're not sure what happens next for you. Seems like things in your life seem a bit up in the air. And maybe you're turning to a higher power. You're praying. You're looking for some guidance about what to do next to kind of get you through a situation that I think that you're worried about, and that you're trying to process in your own head, in your own mind. I think it's a financial situation. What's going on? Leo. Yeah, the Leo that's in your reading. Your spirit guides say have courage. There's something that you have to face. I think that it's pretty mandatory at this point. Because it seems like it has you very emotional. What are you facing? The fact that maybe you're different. You might feel like the underdog. You might feel like the outsider. You might feel that maybe nobody understands you. You got a few haters in your life too. Not that they matter. They're just in the background. But you might take notice of some goofy expressions on certain individuals' faces. Aries. You might just take notice of it. Somebody's pregnant, by the way. There might be a lot going on in your dreams. There might be a lot of things that maybe your guides want to tell you in your dreams, or as I mentioned to you. You might be having out-of-body experiences. Maybe some of you astral travel in your dreams. You're very drawn to the moon, possibly. So what's going on in your life? It seems like you're going through something again and again. I'm trying to tell you somebody's returning. So if you could possibly be returning to work, the approach of spring. The approach of spring is upon us now. Spring is approaching. This might be the time where things begin to turn around for you. It just seems like things have been incredibly difficult for you. You're not sure what's going to happen next. And you're kind of planning ahead. You're kind of wanting to know what you're going to do. But right now, it definitely feels like there's an obstacle in front of you. Maybe this is why you're feeling very emotional and kind of stuck and confined in your situation. There's some obstacles when it comes to communication, yes. I mentioned to you some of this is work related. I think you want to be successful. But I think part of you is just not a risk taker, especially not when it comes to your money. Maybe there is something that you'd rather be doing with your time. Oh, somebody might be coming to you, random side note. Somebody might be getting in contact with you or coming around you for your birthday. Maybe there's some place that you're traveling to around your birthday. So Scorpio, I mentioned that. Yeah, it seems like you might be feeling insecure around this time, especially about your decision making. Imagine too, some of you feel maybe disconnected from your purpose, or that's where the obstacle is. It has something to do with the purpose. This feels like it seems like there's something going on here. Maybe you're going on vacation. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's what this traveling to a new location is about. Some of you are obviously in same-sex relationships, or you just have, like I said, a deep friendship with someone of the same sex, and maybe that's who you're confiding in. Right? Maybe you got a spill on a particular item. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm just noticing like little random stuff. I feel like this week you're feeling tired, you're feeling frustrated. I think there's somebody that likes you, but they like you in secret. Singles. It doesn't even have to be that you're single. This could definitely be somebody that's coupled. Okay, let's look at what's going on, because I definitely feel like something is going on behind your back. We talked about that for a brief second. Gossip. I mentioned to you, these haters, they don't matter. And it might sound counterintuitive with me saying that they don't matter, but then here I go talking about said individuals. It just seems like you might need to know something, because Spirit is bringing it up. They're like, no, you're going to talk about this a little bit. It's necessary, because here I am trying to avoid talking about it. Right? Certain things I don't want to really give life to in the reading, but Spirit says talk about it. So let's pull this up. What's going on? I think somebody might be attracted to the same person at work. You got a few secret admirers, Aries or crosswatcher, or there's somebody that you're admiring and somebody else likes them too. But this could be going on at work. I don't get it though. You like somebody, but it seems like you're focused on your money. All right, let's see what this is. So you do have some money coming in. Let's talk about it. It seems like you might be, especially if you're a business owner, it seems like you might be booked and busy. You have allergies. That's what this is. And as soon as I say that, I'm not an Aries, but my nose just wants to. It's like on fire. I think you have allergies. Oh, the approach of spring. Yep. Allergies. This is the allergy season. So it seems like maybe you're getting prepared for that. You blocked somebody. You might feel like somebody trying to block your money. Somebody trying to block something that you're doing. Yeah, somebody's trying to block your money. And I think you know that. I think you're just over it. You're like, oh my God, here we go. That's the haters in the background. That's what they're up to. Spirit guys, show me more about what's going on for the Aries nation. Somebody has to be going to the sea. Maybe somebody's name is like Chelsea. Oh, something's going on with your money. Yes, I think maybe you're trying to fix something up in your life. Maybe it's credit. Maybe you are applying for something. And maybe you feel like that there's something that you want, but you're blocked from it. We talked about that. That's your circumstances. Things seem like they're up in the air. It might feel the sweep Aries or cross watcher that you're not in control of your circumstances. It seems like you're trying to get a hold of your bills. You're trying to get some things in order in your life. Maybe there's something that you're applying for. It could be the purchase of a home, as I mentioned to you. Maybe you're ready to buy a house. Some of you are going your separate ways because the relationship is ending. Okay. Are you between jobs? Because this looks like to me, and it might not be that you're between jobs. Some of you are business owners, as I mentioned. So maybe things are kind of slowed down for you financially. It seems like there's a lot of greed in the industry that you work in. Like somebody's trying to monopolize everything. I just noticed you have the devil in your reading 3 times. Now the 3rd time. Definitely connected to your money. Somebody doesn't want to see you win, Aries. Or you don't want to see somebody win. It seems like somebody has a lot of responsibilities that they're carrying. And that could easily be you. This is why you're going to work, trying to earn a living. Some of you work online. Oh, did I tell you somebody is curious about you? Some of you are under investigation. Somebody could possibly be looking up information about you that they have no business knowing. Interesting. You lighting up candles? Some of you are very spiritual. So either somebody paying somebody to block your money. Spirit guys, is this what's going on? You sending somebody a message, Aries? You might be sending somebody a message. Doesn't this frequently comes out in your reading? So I was like, didn't you name that reading the Aries reading this before? Yeah. And not every situation plays out at the same time for everyone. For some of you it played out before, and some of you are playing it, it's playing out now. You did send somebody a message. You're sending somebody a message. This is how you're figuring out that you're blocked. Or that you can't get through. Somebody might be in a very complex, complicated situation and might need to talk to you. So maybe somebody might be reaching out to you, I don't know, on the computer, maybe through, what do I hear? Messenger. Goodness. Yes, like social media. Somebody's trying to find you, Aries Nation or Cross Watcher. Yeah, you gotta work online. See these masks in the background? I think somebody could possibly be masking their identity. Someone could possibly be talking to you under a fake profile. Maybe you don't know. You don't know that that's what's going on. Be careful about catfishing. Especially if you're online dating and you haven't met them in person and you're just kind of talking to them behind a keyboard. Yeah, somebody's not being truthful. They lock you out. That's what I mean. Is there an eviction? Because like I mentioned to you, it looks like you're trying to improve your credit. Somebody lock somebody out of the house? Take your keys. Oh, did I mention that? You might need to get your keys copied. You might, I hope you don't get locked out. What is this? You gotta be a tarot reader. You gotta be. Somebody's paying somebody to do something. Like I mentioned to you, somebody's trying to look into you and get information about you. It could be through the tarot. This could be some sort of attack in the tarot community, the spiritual community online. Yeah, I think somebody is trying to block something that you're doing. Definitely, especially in the industry that you work in. But like I mentioned to you, especially if you work in social media, you try to develop a following. I mentioned to you, some of you work on socials. You do tarot on TikTok, on YouTube, on any sort of social platform. You're trying to develop your following, but somebody that does something similar as you is trying to block something that you're doing. Spirit guys, tell me more about this. You might even be trying to turn other people against you. Come on, somebody is getting locked out. This feels like it's an eviction. Somebody could possibly be facing homelessness. Maybe that's what's going on with your money. That's what you're worried about. Who's watching you is a close friend of yours, for some of you. Somebody that is a close friend of yours could possibly be holding a grudge. There's an ex that could be watching some of you. Somebody feels rejected by you around this period of time. Either they feel rejected or they feel betrayed by you. And it could be the other way around. It's a fire sign. There's a fire sign that's causing you a lot of negativity. That's what I mean, Aries. This could definitely be you. Spirit is encouraging you to do a spiritual cleanse, because it seems like for some of you, Aries Nation or Cross Watcher, there's a lot of negativity coming at you, especially if you post online. And now somebody's going to go out of their way to post like cryptic messages. Messages that are directed towards you, but messages that don't have your name attached to it. They're talking about you. It's obvious that they're talking about you. You know that they're talking about you, but other people may not know. Okay, so there's definitely a lot going on online. And it seems like somebody is spying on you, following everything that you're doing, clicking on everything that you upload, being the first to click, being the first responder. Yes, something's going on online. Maybe your appetite is kind of dwindling around this period of time. Aries Nation or Cross Watcher. It just, like I mentioned to you, it has something to do with your purpose. So you obviously have a spiritual purpose. And this is how you're feeling blocked. Because it seems like somebody is trying to block something that you're doing. For some of you, it's your significant other. They don't like what you're doing. Or there's some sort of underlying jealousy there. Jealousy, competition, or whatever this is. It doesn't even have to be that it's your partner. It could be your family member. Something about this screams negativity and hater. I want to say like a closet hater, but I don't think so. Like I mentioned to you, there might be a few that you might see with this goofy expression on their face that kind of confirms to you what you thought that you already knew. And I think that this is why the devil shows up in your reading more than any other sign. Could definitely be a Capricorn that we're talking about. Whatever this complicated situation is that you're facing at the beginning of the week, or some time within the week, even you could be coming out of that energy from the previous week. It seems like you've been trying to push through. You've been trying to get through something in particular. You've been worried. Maybe you haven't really been seeing the people in your life that really matter to you. You've been just really kind of shut in and keeping to yourself. It seems like you're trying to figure out what the next step is in your life. I think you got some hard work to do. I think there's something that you're trying to commit yourself to. You just don't know how. It's like you don't know how to see yourself through something. To the end of a particular situation, you're feeling lost. The Tower, what are you shocked about? Somebody sending somebody nudes? Maybe, I think so. Didn't I say somebody sent you a message? Somebody is sending photos to somebody. And like I mentioned, some of you, you're already aware that you're in a third party situation. Or some of you, you just have a poly situation going on. Like you're completely aware that they're dating other people. And yeah, you just happen to keep going. Anything else, Holy Spirit, that needs to be, and it's not a criticism. I'm just observing what I see in the cards. You do what you want. I don't care if you have a poly situation, so don't take that as if I do. Because I'm just reading the cards. Spirit guys, is there anything else for the Aries Nation? Some of you, maybe it's time for some clothes shopping. If you're trying to reinvent yourself. Oh, are you going to the doctor? Either you're going to the doctor or you got a pet that needs to go. I think you're having some health challenges. Let me figure out how I can preface this. Because I do have to talk about some things that might be kind of difficult to talk about and difficult to hear. But I've got to get the message across to the people that need to hear it. And chances are it's not your message anyway. So don't go straight into worry and panic because I talk about health situations. It may not have anything to do with you, and it most likely doesn't. But it might have something to do with somebody that's around you. This looks like somebody might need to go back to the doctor. It looks like you have a particular pain in your body. It might be a bit mysterious. And some of you, I think you might have chest pain, like sudden onset, like acute chest pain. That's what this looks like to me. Spirit, what's going on with Aries health? No, I don't think we're going to dive too much into that. I think I'm going to just leave it there. I think something is going on with your physical body, your physical health. And I think something might take you to the doctor. And I think it has a lot to do with your anxiety level. Depression. You might be prone to depression, is what this looks like. So if it's not some sort of physical, sudden onset pain that you're dealing with, it feels like it's emotional situations that might just kind of hit you out of nowhere. And maybe this is you possibly deciding to go into counseling. Because it looks like something is kind of going, like really affecting you on a deep level. And maybe going to the doctor might give you some clarity about what's going on. Because maybe you just don't know. And maybe knowing would possibly give you some peace of mind. I think this does have something to do with your heart, really. You or somebody around you. Somebody has excessive pressure, the blood pressure is high. So he has hypertension, obviously. Like I said, it could just be due to a lot of pressure that's going on in your life. You're just constantly in a state of flux, just constant stress. But as I mentioned to you, something might take you to the doctor. Maybe there's something that you don't see about your health, and maybe a body scan could possibly reveal what really is the root cause of what's going on in your body. But there's definitely an emotional connection to what's going on with your body, with the symptoms in your body. So I think some of you, this could possibly take you down a rabbit trail. Maybe you might be deciding to dive into your inner child to see what really is going on. For some of you, this isn't your heart. We're talking now about the reproductive organs. Something might be going on in that area for some of you. Seems like you're going through an awakening. Yeah, a back pain. Aries, maybe you kind of slouch. Something's going on with your back, this feels like, or your kidneys, something such as this. I feel like there's back pain for some of you. Or your circulation issues. Maybe you're getting pins and needles, paresthesia in your hands and feet. There's definitely something going on with the heart. As I mentioned to you, you could possibly be going back to the doctor. Something could possibly take you back to get maybe a second look, a second opinion about something. Aries or cross watchers. Maybe some of you are interested in going under the knife. Maybe you're doing a little nip and tuck. I'm not sure. But I also feel that some of you might be under the weather. Maybe you might be having a little bit of a cold around this period of time. I did mention allergies. Maybe it's something as simple as that kind of takes you to go to the doctor. I don't know if you go to the doctor for allergies. I don't know. Unless it's just really that severe. But that's what I see. Anything else, Holy Spirit, you're going through an awakening. Definitely feels like you're meant to be an inspiration to others, Aries or cross watcher. I think that's why somebody has their eye on you. Because there's just something amazing about something that you do. Or something that you aspire to do. Especially when it has something to do with your purpose. And it doesn't have to be that it's a spiritual purpose. Some of you could possibly work in fashion. Maybe you do makeup. Whatever this happens to be, it just seems like there's something that's very inspirational and amazing about you. And you, like I mentioned to you, you could possibly be taking it to social media, and it feels like your following could possibly be, you could be gaining a lot of followers, like I said, because of something that you do, something that you bring to the table. What's going on with your car? We didn't talk about that. Because I mentioned to you that something, you might need an oil change. Oh no, Spirit says pay attention when you drive. Aries, pay attention when you drive. There might be a hazard on the road. There might be a lot of traffic wherever you're going. Is that where you're going to court? You got a traffic ticket that maybe you need to fight. You got a court date, Aries. Don't miss this court date. It looks like it's important. Labyrinth again. It seems like you're going through something again and again. You definitely, this is a relationship. On again, off again. You'll definitely see someone again, Aries Nation or Cross Watcher. Like I said, in your feed or in person. Oh, did you lie to somebody? I mentioned to you. Did I say that? I said it a million times. Yeah, somebody did lie. Somebody has receipts. Aries Nation or Cross Watcher. Somebody knows. This is the week that somebody shows proof of something. Now, you got a lot of repeating numbers in your situation that you might be noticing. I mentioned to you, I definitely feel like some of you are finding out about that you got the spot. You got this place that you've been looking for. The state of New York could be relevant to something that you're doing. Maybe you're going out to breakfast. Now here, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I don't know. Maybe there's something. Maybe you like sweets for breakfast. Maybe breakfast food is just your thing. I don't know what these messages mean. They're just kind of coming through. So bear with me. They apply or they don't. Let's finish this up. Holy Spirit, what is the advice that you might possibly have for the Aries Nation for the next 7 days? Observe, don't absorb. If you're taking on the stress of others, try observing the situation from a distance. This will increase your energy. Yep, you are an empath. You might be absorbing energy of other people that is not yours. I mentioned you, especially if you work in the spiritual community. or maybe just period. You just might be becoming increasingly sensitive to others' energy. This is why I was mentioning to you there's a lot of negativity that might be surrounding you. And Spirit is saying, close that off. Cleanse. A spiritual cleanse, as I mentioned to you, could definitely be going a long way. You could be taking a spiritual bath to get this negativity off of you. Holy Spirit, your advice. You're definitely getting clarity about something through a dream. There's no doubt about it. Aries Nation, nurture your body. We talked about that health-wise. If you're tired, rest. If you're in pain, pamper yourself rather than pushing through it. Treat your body as a precious friend. Listen to its needs. You've been pushing through something. That's what I mean. Some sort of pain, emotional pain, whatever this happens to be. Spirit says you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to slow down, Aries Nation or Cross Watcher. You're getting burnt out. To avoid burnout, don't do too much too fast. Going slower lets you appreciate the miracle of the moment and the richness of your life. Spirit says slow down, Aries or Cross Watcher, maybe. Slow down. Take baby steps. Go slowly like the patient turtle. Do not try to rush or force anything. Baby steps are golden. They will lead you to your fondest goal. Whatever this goal is that you have, that you feel like you're burning yourself out to accomplish. I think it's a fitness goal for some of you. Whatever this is, you guys are saying you got to take baby steps. It seems like you have a lot going on in your life that you're trying to figure out. Why? Compound it with other things that maybe are not the priority right now. And you guys are saying, slow down. You'll get there. Whatever this is that you're trying to accomplish, you'll definitely accomplish it. With that, Aries Nation across watchers, this concludes your 7-day forecast with angelic ascensions. Hey, Jasmine Florence. If you found this reading was helpful, give this reading a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment. You never know how your comments may help another that maybe needs to hear a word of encouragement that you have to offer. Thank you, Aries Nation and Cross Watchers, for tuning in. Have a beautiful, productive birthday season. Happy birthday, Aries. See y'all in the next one. Peace out. Hey, Celine.